Hello, hello, and welcome to the hackathon, to the DN Unlimited Hackathon Demo Day. It's a Saturday, and we're here to see what the hackers have managed to do in this little amount of time that they had for the DNS Unlimited Hackathon Day. And I'm here with some really, really high-class experts that they are going to be members of the jury, and they're going to be looking at the startups pitching. My name is Elena Pugia, and I'll be your hostess today. So I'll be moderating every step of the way, presenting all the teams, and also presenting the jury in the beginning. So I have a short presentation to share with you. So I would like you to, yeah, there you go. Just a couple of words to freshen your memory and also to introduce the people here. So as I mentioned, this is the DNS Unlimited Hackathon Demo Day. My name is Elena Pugia. I'm the Managing Director of Economy Data Natives. We are behind the organization of this hackathon. And we had a really, really crazy journey so far. So we started on the September 17th with the info day, where we presented to all the applicants what tools they had, how to meet each other, how to form teams. Then there was a period of team formation and hacking. And then they had a last chance to sign up September 23rd. And between the 24th and the 25th, they had a great ride with mentoring and hacking and creating their solutions that have been supported by the team and the mentors and all the experts here. And finally, they submitted last night at 12 o'clock. We had 18 submissions, and today we're going to have 12 pitches. Why 12 pitches? Well, because some of them unfortunately were not eligible, either because they did not fit the criteria or because actually they did not really participate in the hackathon, which is very, very important to us. It's important that the hackers are part of the hackathon all the way. This hackathon is an innovation sprint, or it can be seen as an innovation sprint. You need to come and you need to produce something during that time and meet new people that can help you along the way. And the winners, actually, I didn't mention that. The winners will be announced publicly in November at our conference, with some of the winners that might have to collect already their prize before that. They will already start working with the companies, with the teams that provided the prize. And we can see also when we announce the winners in November, what's the progress and what's the status they've accomplished by then. So what are the challenges that we put forth to our hackers? We had 4 different challenges, 2 of them specifically focused on healthcare, 1 on social impact and 1 on sustainability in businesses. So challenge number 1, how can we build sustainable businesses during the economic unrest? Important challenge, important milestone worldwide, and will affect all of us. Challenge number 2, how can tech help us facilitate positive and long-term social impact? Now that we know that tech is here to stay, it's really important to also see the fruits of the execution of how tech can actually apply for social good in the long term. Challenge number 3, what are the ways to enact both healthcare and data accessibility for all? We've noticed that a lot of the times when we're talking in healthcare, we're talking about protecting the user, about regulating the access of data. But how can we also provide data accessibility? How actually can we do that when we know that data being accessible is a very important asset in healthcare? And that's a conversation we also had 2 weeks ago in one of our panels, just before the beginning of the hackathon. If you want, you can go back and see it. Actually, Maren Lesche, who is one of the jury members, was moderating that panel. And challenge number 4, last but certainly not least, we're talking about cybersecurity and data protection. So when we're talking about data accessibility, of course, we also need to figure out and see how actually we can protect our data. Now that we're all pretty much living online, so our identities are also digital, we need to make sure that we know how to protect ourselves. And that's certainly an important aspect in healthcare. It's an important aspect in society, and it's an important aspect for the health of for the wellness of our citizens and the wellness of economic being. After we decide, the jury, and I will present them in a minute, after they decide the 3 awards, there are 3 the three winners. There's 3 awards from 3 very, very important companies and partners. So Bayer will provide to the winners ongoing mentorship and potentially helping them continuing their project in any way and shape possible. Vision Health Pioneers, they are having their second cohort starting soon. They have their deadline October 5th. They will actually fast track the winner to their application system. So that's a very, very good step already. And potentially you can join their incubation program. And Flying Health, which is a very important community here, here in Germany, they will also have a 1 hour long meeting with one of the participants to see if they qualified to enter this exclusive and very, very highly related with highly experts community for healthcare startups. So, demo day. This is happening today. The jury will be evaluating in these 5 different criteria with different validity and weight. So I'm repeating it one more time, quite briefly, because I'm already noticing that I'm running behind time. There's innovation as one. There's impact, applicability, feasibility, and execution. Those are the 5 criteria that the jury members will be evaluating on. And no more hacking this thing, but let me present you very quickly now also the jury members. We did not put a slide on, but we will have them here live. So please welcome Max Wagner, the head of regulations at Bayer. Hi, Max.
Hi, Elena, and good luck to the teams. Look forward to the presentations.
Thank you. Maren Lesche, who's the head of incubation of Vision Health Pioneers and CEO and founder of Startup Colors.
Yeah, also looking forward. And I think some of them I've seen on the 17th. So let's see some familiar faces in the pitches again.
Oh, nice, cool. Laura Nelde from Flying Health. Hi, Laura.
Exactly. Also very excited to see what everyone has come up with.
Lina Nicolopoulou, Managing Director at eHealth Forum and a veteran here on the jury committee. Hi, Lina.
Hi, I'm looking forward to all those solutions and people to just pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Alistair Nolan, very, very lovely to have you here as well. Administrator of the OECD. Would you like to also say any words in the beginning?
Yeah, this is a great moment to hear young people thinking about their ideas. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And last but certainly not least, Norman Hjob. Hi.
Hello, great to be here.
Great to have you. All right, so let's kick things off with the first team, Hero Loop. I believe, Bende, you are the first one to pitch. So are you ready?
I'm all ready.
Yes, perfect. Are you going to share any slides?
Yes, and I'm going to share my video first.
Okay,
and
perfect.
It's loud, so be prepared. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
All right.
Perfect. Go.
Andre's my neighbor from down the street. I haven't seen her in 4 months. We used to greet each other on our morning walks, but now I just see her at her yard from time to time, staying away from the crowd, minimizing her outdoor activities to the bare minimum. Like Agda, many people around the globe are experiencing this urgent need, asking for help using a heartwarming yet outdated note system. On the other end, there are thousands of potential volunteers looking to contribute, companies who might be looking to help, and government agencies with the means to do a lot of good. All of them do not know and have no quick way of knowing where help is needed. The Hero Loop is a platform that allows users to ask for help with a task by calling in or by using the app or website. Every request is being processed using IBM Watson and AI ML NPL to control and remove toxic use. A volunteer is matched using AI based on their location and availability. The volunteers, we call them heroes, see the requests on a map-based dashboard. We designed the app with our elderly users in mind, making the request process as easy and intuitive as possible while still maintaining our high security standards. Both parties must approve each other for the task to be confirmed. Requesters, we call them loopers because they keep the loop going. And heroes can chat or call each other to coordinate the completion of a task. The blockchain encrypting assures all users' activities are private and cannot be tracked. AI, machine learning models, IBM Watson tone analyzer, and personality assessment constantly analyze all content on the Hero Loop, whether coming in through the app or landline, and sets to alert relevant parties if need be. We hope to see Agda and many people like her being helped by the community, acquiring new friends and memories, and enrich their life. It's a scalable solution that has the potential to help millions around the globe and start a real movement.
All right, let me change to the presentation. Can you see my screen still?
Yes.
Yes, great. All right, so the Hero Loop. Whoop. Now we got
Our
some
world
music
is
somewhere.
suffering from coronavirus.
Whoop. Yes, we are. So that's why we want to bring the Hero Loop movement to the world. So it's all about that we want to change our world from the COVID-19, from loneliness, these sort of things. We want to change the way big organizations use our data. So it's all about creating heroes. So our mission is we have created a social scalable platform, and it brings people together. So it's within walking distance. It's worldwide. It's scalable. So we're using decentralized data and Web3 deep tech to make sure that all the people using the app.
Sorry to interrupt, Bente. Are you presenting slides? Because we can only see your video stopped.
Oh, I'm presenting slides.
Okay, probably you need to reshare.
Okay.
Okay, we're just stopping the clock for now until you make it work.
Right. Are you there?
Okay, there you go. Yes, now we can see.
Sorry about that. I didn't know. So, okay, so our mission is to create a movement that would heal communities and that we start helping each other. Let's see here. So, so the values that we have are that we want to bring data protection to citizens worldwide, equalize access to data everywhere, democratize data while retaining privacy rights, and reduce loneliness worldwide. So we strive to follow these sustainable development goals. So we have some issues with data worldwide. It's undemocratic, it's unequal reach. We have lack of privacy protection. And also before COVID-19, there was a loneliness epidemic, and now it's even worse with this pandemic threat. So we see that in data. High school students are lonely. We also see that COVID-19 causes elderly to have to stay inside and be isolated, and isolation decreases health. And COVID also creates a major economic crisis. So we want to create a positive movement in the world. So the Hero Loop is a matching web app. So we match need with help. It's a 20-kilometer radius, and it uses your location services on your phone. And both parties must approve each other. And it's possible to use it to chat, to get in contact with each other before one meets. So we use deep tech and Web3 and open source. We use AI, we use blockchain. We want to do everything to make it a safe space and that it supports privacy for everyone. So how are we going to make this shift in the world? And is it valuable for us in any way? How am I going to get out of my couch?
So I'm sorry, Bende. The time has come up. There's
Okay.
3 more minutes from the jury if they would like to ask questions. Jury, would you like Bende to continue with her presentation, or do you have any questions so far?
I think she should continue to just get the full idea.
Okay, so you have 3 more minutes, Bende. Go.
Thank you. So we have a leaderboard for the individuals, the heroes, the volunteers, the institutions and NGOs, NPOs. Here they can use this leaderboard and then get recommendation letters, e-badges, redeemable points for the local store. On the other hand, we have businesses, municipalities, and governments. And since we have aggregated anonymous data, here they can use this data to get insights of what is happening around the world. So we have a roadmap. We've come very far with the MVP. We are on point 5 for we're investment ready, and we're going to do pilots, etc. And end of year, we're aiming for production readiness. And this is the team. We're diverse. We're around the world. Yeah. So that's us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's actually 1 more minute for questions. Are there any questions from the jury?
I would like to ask a question. This is Lina. Do you have plans to just launch in a particular nation? And do you have already discussed with some volunteer organizations for your pilots?
We're planning to have like a larger community where we roll it out just to get feedback. So we're hoping to make a feedback loop. So we adjust according to the feedback that we gather with. That community, we're hoping to be here in Sweden, in Helsingborg, where I live. So.
And the pilot?
And the pilot, so we're getting close to being ready with the MVP. So that pilot, we will try in this larger community and also with people that have signed up on our webpage, on our landing page, so that we can evaluate the impact it has. And we're hoping that full development will be end of year and we'll be ready to go out to market beginning of next year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bende, for your presentation. Good luck, and the best to the production of your product and go to market strategy. So next up, the next presenter for today is Johnny Ika from Lesson Speak. Johnny, are you here?
I am here. I think the host turned off my video.
Okay, let me see what I can do about that. Is your video on now?
There we go.
There you go.
Great.
Hi.
So am I good to go?
You are good to go.
Great.
Can you share your slides? Do you want the time to start already?
All right. You can see it, right?
Yes, we can. Go.
Great. So my name is Johnny, and what I'm presenting is Lesson Speak, which is the one-stop shop for teaching conversational English in the gig economy. And we're in the e-learning industry. So my story is that when I started teaching as a teacher online in the gig economy, there was nothing out there that was specifically designed to help me teach as a freelancer. So the problem is that freelance online English teachers lack the appropriate tools and curriculum specifically designed for teaching online. And our solution includes mostly an AI-assisted feedback tool. This is where the innovation is happening, where an AI will be able to take the speech-to-text recognition software that Google already has and is available, as can be seen here, and it will make suggestions, corrections that the teacher can see and use to help the student perfect their speaking. On top of that, it will be able to take this information and create KPIs, a dashboard, and charts and graphs that will help the student understand how they've been performing over time. So after they've been taking a few classes for a while, they will be able to see where they need improvement and where they've been improving thus far. The other aspect of the solution is the curriculum. This is what is used during a lesson so that the teacher has content to use and they can deliver a good lesson. It makes it really easy for teachers to teach, and it provides a consistent quality to the student. Our business model includes freemium access to the tools, curriculum, and a community. And teachers can also pay for just the curriculum if they want to on a marketplace website. So our team includes me, I'm also an English teacher, and Vlad, who's a software engineer and one of my students. So we're working together on this solution, and I mean, we're both going to benefit, so it's kind of great. And that's pretty much my whole presentation. Any questions?
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Johnny. That was earlier than on time. You've got plenty of time, actually. Any questions from the jury?
If I may, this is Alistair Nolan. Johnny, two things. You mentioned that a lack in this area for freelance online teachers is inadequate information on a curriculum. Maybe excuse me if I missed something, but what are you actually doing in terms of supplying a novel curriculum for online teachers? That's one thing. And is it correct for me to say that then you're using the AI as a teaching tool because you're looking at how the speech emitted by one of your students translates to text? And that's used to identify errors in their, in the quality of their English. Is that correct?
Yeah, somewhat. So what makes the curriculum unique is that it's designed specifically for teaching online. It takes advantage of the fact that you're on a computer, and it tries to use as much screen real estate as possible, and it encourages a student to exercise as many aspects of their senses. What I'm talking about is like visual and hearing in this case. A lot of curriculum does not leverage the visual aspect. As far as the AI goes, it's going to obviously make mistakes when it transcribes the speech, but the real purpose of it is to be able to take information and provide the measuring, like the KPIs for the students so they can see where they've been improving, because that's a really big pain point for teachers, not just freelance teachers, but online teachers in general. Teachers that teach spoken English.
Quick question from my side. Here's Marianne. So what's the role of the teacher exactly? If you have a lot of online support, I mean, there will be the question, why do I need a teacher if I can have voice recognition, if I can have AI, if I can measure myself technically? And there are a lot of peer-to-peer platforms out there as well. And I think one of the biggest issues that students have is conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you asked that question, because if we make it easier for a student to be able to exercise speaking, even on their own, then it's still going to benefit the student eventually. And it can be implemented in like an interface or a software, a platform where students will be able to match up with other students and practice speaking and be corrected using this. But people will still want teachers because they have a certain accent, and students pay just for that very frequently. So they don't want to be corrected by a robot. They don't think it's going to have the right accent, and they want someone that sounds like how they want to sound.
Thanks.
Norman here, just one follow-up question. So who would be the user of your solution? Is it the teacher or is it the student?
Yeah, first we're prioritizing the teacher. It will provide like an augmented teaching experience for the teacher so that they can provide a better service. Down the line, when it gets better, we can use it in those group sessions that I talked about, where it would lower the cost of allowing students to practice speaking, because they can use this tool with other non-native speakers to practice, and they will still get corrected. Whereas now, don't is with the live teacher.
And when, if I may ask, when do you see your service or product service to be provided, to be ready, and whether you have made any research for willingness to pay, or you have some sort of price on your mind of how the service would be, you know, priced?
Yeah, so as far as the curriculum goes, it's already online, it's on a marketplace website, and I've made a few dozen sales so far. It's nothing significant though, which is why a software solution like this AI is going to help kind of catapult those sales. But really, that's the trend of this industry, and I think that's going to overtake the curriculum aspect.
Could I ask one more question? This is Alistair again, sorry. Have you tested this approach to teaching though against other pedagogical methods?
Are you referring to the curriculum or the AI assisted tool?
Using particularly the AI assisted tool, but both actually.
As far as the curriculum goes, this style of teaching is, I pretty much got inspired from a company called iTutor Group, and this is essentially how they taught all of their students conversational English. So I think that's pretty standardized, but the AI assisted tool will require some work, and we haven't been able to test that in the field yet.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, John, and good luck with building Lesson Speak, but also in this hackathon. Just to inform everybody for the procedure, basically it's 5 minutes for the presentation and then 3 minutes for Q&A. And both of these startups were competing in the social impact category. And now we have the next startup, Bianca Costin. Are you here?
I'm not Bianca, but I am here presenting for Team Agavi.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, hi, Lev.
No worries.
I just talked about I just saw the team lead name. Yes, you're not Bianca, but representing. Okay, so yes. Hi, Lev, representing for Agavi. Can we see you? Yes. Can you share? Are you going to share your screen?
I am. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. Excellent.
All right, your time starts now.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Agavi, which is the project my team worked on to bring digital education everywhere. So to start, I'm going to talk about my friend Steve. Steve works at a rich high-tech university in the US, and I was talking with Steve yesterday, and he was pretty angry. He's usually pretty angry. But in this case, he's angry because the university is forcing him to use an overly complicated educational technology that nonetheless doesn't actually let him build what he wants to have for his students. I also have a friend named Uliana. She works at a middle-income university in Ukraine. She found some excellent educational technology that she wants to use in her own classroom, but she's equally unhappy. Mostly because she can't afford to use this technology. Her students can't afford to pay the subscription fees, and her university can't afford to pay for it either. And finally, I have my friend Khalik. He works at a poor, low-tech university in Indonesia. And when the pandemic started, he lost a number of his students because they returned to their home islands where there was no connectivity, and so they couldn't continue their studies. So what do all these teachers have in common? Well, for all of them, educational technology was supposed to empower them. Instead, it acted as a blocker between them and their students. And this is where we come in with our solution, Agavi. So Agavi is a digital platform, and it has 3 components to it: the teacher portal, the student portal, and the researcher portal. I'll talk mostly about the teacher portal because that's what we worked on during this hackathon, but I'll briefly mention the student and researcher portals as well. So in the teacher portal, teachers will be able to build tasks and experiences and deploy them to students. And once these experiences are deployed to students, they'll be able to analyze their results and see what the students are doing. And then once the experiences are complete, they'll be able to use that information to improve their tasks and experiences. And we're using the smartphone form factor so that it's simple and easy to use by anyone. So what do I mean when I say build a task? Well, a task could be anything. Most learning technology allows you to build simple tasks such as read and answer a question. But with digital technology, we could do so much more than use the smartphone as just a portal to digital technology. We can use the smartphone as an agent in its own environment. So we want teachers to think of innovative tasks they could build, such as having their students go to a location and have it register on the GPS, or to orient their phone in a particular direction, taking advantage of the accelerometers or the compass functionalities. We also want students to be able to interact with their classmates and their phones to recognize that, and to also interact with low-cost sensors so that they can take measurements out in the field that are then used in their experiences, and they can't continue those experiences until they actually collect the data. And once a teacher builds a number of these tasks, they'll be able to assemble them into an experience. And the experience is designed to be nonlinear. So you don't have to take a linear if this, then that. You can take nonlinear approaches to remediate problems that students may be having. Teachers may also be able to design team tasks so that multiple students can complete the same experience, or alternatively create role-playing scenarios where in the same experience, students may be assigned different roles and different tasks that they nonetheless need to complete in order to complete the experience together. And most importantly, we'll have deep drill analytics for the teachers so that teachers can see where students are stuck, explore exactly what they've done to get stuck, and then render help right on the spot. On the student side, students will be able to complete these experiences and also work with their friends, either competing or collaborating, and they'll also be able to track their skills to see if they're improving or what recommendations they have to improve skills where they may be lacking. And for educational researchers, they'll be able to explore how tasks evolve over time and also track content across cultures to see how it's getting adapted and whether it works better or worse. And there's also the potential for ed research that's unimaginable yet because we just don't have the data sets. Gavi will be fully usable offline, accessible to the disabled community, both on the teacher and student side. Everyone will be able to share and collaborate. And we're also going to be ethical data treatment is also critically important. And how do I know this is going to work? Well, my name is Lev, and I've been a teacher for 20 years. Steve, Ulan, and Halik are real people, and they are my friends, and I've worked with them in their countries of origin. And we're all fed up with 20th century education technology and education technology that's aiming for the 22nd century.
All right, I'm
we
sorry.
need education technology for the 21st century.
Your time is up. Your time is up. Thank you, Lev. Great. You've got 3 more minutes for Q&A. Anyone from the jury would like to ask any questions or?
Yeah, I have one. Hi, Lev. This is Max. A very interesting tool. When you described it at the beginning about Indonesia and the wireless connection or internet connection, actually, I felt that actually in Indonesia and Asia, the internet connection is much better than everywhere else in the world. But anyway, so how are you increasing internet connectivity with that? Because it's an app and you need to have a phone or a computer in order to use it, right? So how are you actually tackling that?
So the idea here is to work around the damage. As you mentioned, in Indonesia, there is this idea that there's high connectivity. That's really only on the island of Java. If you go farther away from Java to most other islands, especially in the east, connectivity there just isn't really good. So that is an infrastructure problem that we can't fix. But the idea is to create an app and a web application that can function offline. And then when there isn't internet connectivity, so for example, when the students come home from their islands to their schools, they'll be able to sync all their content with the World Wide Web.
I have a question, Lev. It's Marine. What's your go-to-market strategy? Because it could be kind of applied in many different locations. Like, where do you want to start? Do you want to start in the US? Do you want to start in Indonesia? Where do you want to make it happen first?
So we're targeting right now middle income countries. The education technology landscape is pretty competitive in the US, And at least in Indonesia, where I worked, there's a lot of difficulties there, but I have strong partnerships through my professional connections and my academic connections in Brazil and Ukraine. So that's where we're going to be starting first.
And you mentioned that existing technologies are too expensive for certain universities. So how do you already have a price point in mind? Are you going to charge it per teacher using it? Is it going to be licensed to the entire university?
So there are two models we're approaching. There's the licensing model for the university. I haven't worked so much with that model. I'm more interested in selling directly to teachers because universities can be slow to adapt, slow to change, and they often buy technology based on whether the pitch is good or not and whether it's something the teachers actually want to use. So the idea is to sell directly to teachers because they're the ones who need these tools, and if they're happy with it, they'll be able to convince their administrators to adopt it on a university level.
So
price point. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Students are not going to pay? They are the students?
No, students aren't going to pay, the teachers are going to pay, and we're aiming for a really low price point, something like a Netflix subscription, because students don't have the money to pay for this. And we're targeting a vision sort of like PowerPoint, where the teacher or the university pays for PowerPoint, the teacher uses it, and the students benefit from it, but they don't actually have to pay a subscription fee to Microsoft to see PowerPoint presentations.
Another question. Sorry, I'm not a tech person, so it may not sound appropriate, but if we are talking about, you know, a very big community in the end, I mean, are you going to need big servers for data, you know, what about that? I mean, where are these data going to be stored? So you know, we talk about, you know, history, and we talk about, I mean, history of usage and etc.
Yes, so we're working with, we're going to be trialing in the next few months with some teachers to get an idea of how popular the system could be. And we have plans to scale up using database solutions that are already out there. It's hard to judge how popular this will be or not. A lot of teachers don't know what they want until they actually see something that they've never thought about before. So our model projections range anywhere from this will be a tough sell to this may be more popular than we're anticipating. So we're currently planning on how to deal with all these various scenarios.
Right. Thank you so much, Lev.
And Elena, just one comment. Check out a company or an organization called NPACT in Germany. They have a launch project in Indonesia for topics like this, and they also have money to support young companies like yours. Just as a comment. Sorry, Elena.
Thank you. No, that was helpful. Thanks.
NPACT.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much, Lev. Another team competing in the social impact category. They submitted as Veggie, and they are also come as Broscope. Anna Makota, you're here.
Yes, I'm here. Could you hear me?
We can, and we just, yeah, there you go. Now we can see you as well. Are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I will, but a bit later. Okay.
Okay, so you don't want to share it. Okay, so you're starting though.
Yes, I'm starting.
Okay.
So,
all right. 5 minutes. Go.
Hello, my name is Anna Makota. I'm presenting Broscorp team, and we are a team of developers, healthcare specialists, and nutritionists. And today I'm going to present you our project we are working on. This project will be as a response for the second challenge, social impact. We call it Vigi, and I would like to ask one question. Did you know the fact that eating plant-based food can lower risks risk of death by 30%. Maybe you didn't, but this fact, actually, in this case, we can say that vegans and vegetarians' lifestyle looks really attractive. But there are a bunch of pains in that lifestyle. And I would like to talk about these pains and to present our solution. We are working on that. So actually, here is the pain we have, and I'm vegetarian myself, so I can told you that I can tell you that there is a certain pains. So it really takes time to calculate the nutrients we need in order to follow these diets. And vegan food is really expensive because the hype the marketers created around it. The meals could be really awful in that diet you found out in the different applications we have in App Store or Google Play. And it is certain obsession with the healthy lifestyle. So we decided together with our team to reveal the pains and prepare the solution. Our solution is Vigi. So Wigi, this is this is application that creates for you data-driven tailored diets with the exactly nutrients you need. So you can think about Wigi like your personal health coach, but the thing is, it is much more cheaper. And how does it look like? So we put your data regarding your physical activities, your physical characteristics, different bad habits, allergy, sleeping conditions, health tests. And also we would like to ask you to provide the 7 days food diary for us, just to know what you're eating right now, what your diet looks like. And then we will analyze this data, processing it, and prepare the suitable goals for you just to be healthier and happier person. You can skip that goals or you can change it. It depends on your goals as well, your personal goals. But as well, we will provide the needed nutrients for you based on that physical activities and another your data you will provide for us. And then we will match these nutrients with database of tasty and affordable recipes. So, and then, voila, you will get your data-driven tailored diet. And you get not just diets, but as well, you will get the support from the Vigi application. There we are going to bring on the board the nutrition specialist as well, and they will support and answer all your questions regarding the diet and new lifestyle. If you are not, for example, if you are not vegan or vegetarian and you certainly would like to try it. And then we will notify you every day regarding the meals you will get. And then in the at the evening, we will send you a message just to check up what you, did you eat something we recommend you, and what actually the meals where you ate. So then we'll track your results and we'll provide you the notification if you hit any goals. But if you did it, then we help you to support this current healthy lifestyle. And for this hackathon, together with the team, here's our team, we developers and healthy specialists, we created this solution. It is chatbot. So we started with the chatbot before the application will be developed. And we wrote different scripts, one for vegan, then for vegetarian to follow, and created a story via Google. This is service to create a specific story for chatbot, and then created actually chatbot via Pipe Technology and Telegram. And I would like to show this chatbot to you. So could you see this screen? Okay, great. So here is chatbot. We are started with the Telegram, and Vigi is going to ask you several questions regarding that activities and physical conditions and sleeping conditions.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The time is up. Should Anna continue, guys? All right, continue.
Okay, thank you. So, and here is, for example, the data Vigi is asked for. And for example, I will pick up one role for this MVP. I will be Mary today. So, and Mary are going to answer different questions regarding the weight, height, and regarding the lifestyle, vegan or vegetarian, and then about something about physical activities like sports. So as you can see, we would like to present Mary as ordinary people. Okay, she has some problem with the weight maybe, and with the bad habits like alcohol. So she's not an ideal person because of that fact that she is vegan, you know. Yes, and then there is different specific, and we will try to suit this specific as well by our products. Then we will present some goals we would like Mary to hit, to lose weight, to drink less, and to support new healthy lifestyle as well. And that's why we are going to proceed with the tailored diet, and we are sending Mary this diet. And every day, for example, like today is Monday, and we are going to show to Mary the exactly nutrition plan for today. That will be different vegans food here. They are tasty, they are affordable, but it turned out that there is an allergy on strawberry that Mary has, and we are going to replace it by raspberry, for example. The raspberry has the same amount of nutrients she needs, so that's why it is equal replacement. And also we recommend her to take some vitamins in order to keep her a healthy lifestyle. And then we are going to make a checkup on that, what actually Mary ate today. And we can see that we are asking Mary to fill in this form, and it turned out that she didn't eat the salad, but it's absolutely okay. It's normal. She can skip it. It's absolutely okay. Then we are going to provide her with a shopping list for the Wednesday, because Wednesday is a shopping day for her. And then we are going to provide something for some meals for Sunday, for example. This is messages for her. And you can see that 2 weeks later, we are checking up some results that Mary might hit. And it turned out, so yes, we can show her some results. For example, we measure body mass indexes, and it is really cool because she lost 1 kilo. And she done these nutrition prescriptions as well, very good. So we just show to her these results, and as well we recommend it to her to proceed with the 2 weeks and again, and then to hit more goals, or if she did it, then just to keep on this way, healthy lifestyle. Okay,
so
that's it.
Time is up. No time for questions, unfortunately. Good luck, Anna, with leading the revolution on health and nutrition lifestyle. And next one, another social impact application. There seems to be a lot of interest in this hackathon to help with our society and making the world a better place from that aspect. The team Harmony. And I believe the team lead is Trideep Kumar Mitra. Are you here, Trideep? I can see you. Hi.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Would you like to share your screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I'll give you time. There you go. You're sharing. So your time starts now. You have 5 minutes. Go.
Hello, my name is Trideep, and I'm here on behalf of Harmony. And what we're building is a fast, easy, and convenient solution to handle your emergencies. So our team comprised of 3 people from very diverse fields. And as a result, we were able to bring very unique perspectives to our ideation and development process that really brought our product from being just an idea to a very tangible product. So let's talk about the problem here. The problem is something that's been part of the national mainstream for so long that it is clearly flawed. I'm talking about public safety answering points, or emergency numbers, as you may know them. These systems are so flawed at the moment that there are lives being lost because of pure negligence, pure human error and delay, because of negligent, slow, less efficient PSAPs. And you can see in front of yourself, 3,000 lives every year could be saved due to faster PSAPs. In the UK, for example, 7 people died due to PSAP human errors. So errors such as misquoting addresses and dispatching the wrong service vehicle, people die because of that and nobody bats an eye. And you also have to understand that this data is the official documentation that's associated with PSAP negligence. The number is probably a lot more. And with that in mind, let's take an example. Let's take 911 in the US, for example. The average 911 response time is 7 to 14 minutes. The time within which a cardiac arrest must be treated is 3 to 6 minutes. There is clearly a problem with this solution, and it's this. The problem with 911 is that the caller has to call the 911 operator, actually tell them the details, their location, who then routes the call to the specialist, and then the specialist has to route the information to the responder. That's a long chain of information flow and data flow, and that takes up to 5 minutes. 911 response time is 7 to 14 minutes. 5 minutes of that is a huge amount of time. And this is absurd because this is something that's clearly automatable. There are other flaws with these systems. Around the world, the US, for example, they cannot determine your location when you're on a smartphone. It only works when you're on a landline. I didn't even know landlines were used anymore. In Europe, for example, calls have to be redirected, and this is a problem everywhere. Calls have to be redirected, and this introduces a large amount of human error and delay. In India, in places where there's a lack of coverage, when people do call for emergency services, sometimes they don't even get it. They don't get the service that they need and they deserve. And sometimes when they do, the response times are so bad that people die as a result. And that's something that's entirely avoidable. This is what we propose. A caller is put through to the responder, and this whole process takes less than 10 seconds. Some of the additional utilities that come with this is that this system can be used in countries where such a service doesn't exist. It can also be used by silent callers. So callers, for example, are in emergencies where they can't speak. Our app comes with a feature where you don't have to speak and you can get help with the click of a button. Our app also obtains user location, unlike E911 in the US, which only works with landlines. So let's go over our solution. This is what we built. So this is the app that we built over the weekend. And obviously it's a very simple interface because we don't want to overwhelm the user with information during their time of emergency. And the critical part about this is that you only have to enter your information once. So let's say Chandler has lung cancer, for example. You hit submit and you get access to these services. Let's say for this demonstration, he calls an ambulance. That's it. Chandler's job as a user is done. At this very moment, our app is placing calls to all hospitals near Chandler. And when they pick up, this is what they hear.
There is an ambulance needed by a patient with IDP 756980. Patient is located at latitude 37.785834 and longitude -122.406417. Patient has a medical history of lung cancer. Patient's name is Chandler Ding.
That's it. And there's also an integrated messaging service that helps provide a record for the call and also provide this information in written format. That's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Just on time, just when the timer went off. Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yes. Any questions on the jury?
Yeah, I have one. Tridip, I think that's cool. The question I have is a hospital then confirming, one hospital at least, confirming that they'll pick it up? Because otherwise there's a lot of information spread to hospitals, but it's not clear whether they are actually picking up the patient.
Max, could you repeat that again? I couldn't hear.
Sorry. I ask if you're spreading a lot of information to hospitals nearby, the question is which hospital is then finally confirming that they are coming, or are all hospitals coming in order to pick up the patient?
So when you do place a call, you will be asked to confirm a call by pressing a key. Once you press that key, no more calls are placed, and all other hospitals are informed that an ambulance is on the way. As a result, there's only one that's on its way to the patient.
If I may ask, normally a hospital, before they decide, or a service, okay, a service, before they decide to dispatch an ambulance, they have to know what is happening. Otherwise, because many times they have false alarms, or they need to prioritize, they need to have some extra information. So by pressing a button, that is not enough for most of the systems. Have you really considered that, or is it, you know, specially made for, you know, a specific case?
Okay, so for our application, the reason we ask them to enter an ID is to prevent such fraudulent calls, and we also ask them to enter their medical information. So, for example, in the demo, you saw that Chandler, for instance, entered in lung cancer, and so with that medical information in mind, when an ambulance is dispatched, it can take that into consideration and bring equipment along with it that helps treat that disease, for instance.
You know, lung
so
cancer does not give an emergency signal to an ambulance. You know, if you have you know, a heart disease, or sometimes you may have what I mean is that most of the times for the services to just prioritize, because they received a lot of calls, they need to have some extra information, and they may need a real call. That's what I'm asking, whether, you know, you have received such sort of feedback that I'm giving you now. That's only a question.
So you spoke about prioritization, and so that's a system that we will put into place, and we have plans to do that, where the operator actually confirms the call before dispatching the ambulance. So once a call has been confirmed, the ambulance will be dispatched, and if they don't dispatch the ambulance, the call will be sent to another hospital who can. And so it's just a recursive process that keeps calling hospitals until one of them sends an ambulance for sure, and the patient can get help.
Okay. Just a comment from my side. Here's Maren. Here in Germany, even like south of Berlin, you have rural areas where there's just no hospital. So even if they get the information, they have a very limited number of ambulances. They have to send a helicopter. And I think the delay you have seen as an example also comes because there's just no medical infrastructure everywhere. So even if the information comes very early, there's still the time you need to actually send an ambulance. There might not be an ambulance. And in many cases, they have to send a helicopter, and there are not 20,000 helicopters around. So one of the problems I think you refer to is just the lack of infrastructure in general, not just the lack of information. Just keep that in mind if you check, if you qualify and validate your idea. It's not just the 5 minutes, it's basically the lack of infrastructure in general as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good point. But for the purposes of this hackathon, we really decided, we saw that the 911 response time, for example, was 7 to 14 minutes. And we saw that the bulk of that time goes in actually transferring that information between callers, between routers. And so that's something we thought that we could tackle. But for purposes involving medical infrastructure, I'm afraid that there's not much we can do about that.
I've got one more comment. Do we have time for that?
Yeah.
No, sorry, I was muted. No, you don't. No more time for comments. But you can always connect afterwards. Thanks very much, Tribid, and good luck for you and your team.
Thank you.
Next one, joining by phone, Luca Carpra from Ambianic. This is another social impact. There's another team competing in the social impact category.
Hello.
Hi, Luca. Can we see you? Is it possible to turn on your camera, or you won't be able to?
Sure. Can you see me?
Yes. You're outside.
Hello.
Nice.
I've been picked up because our founder was not able to join. So, yeah.
No worries. Glad that someone's representing. So I know that we are sharing your slides. Team, can you share Luca's slides, please?
Yes, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Is this it? The COVID-19, is that the right one, Luca? We can't hear you, muted.
It does says March 30. Maybe it's a wrong one.
Luca, is this the right file that we need to share?
I'm not sure. The one that Yana shared with you is probably the correct one.
That's the video that was shared to me.
You can go by that one, and I can integrate any detail we want to.
Okay, I see a different one here actually. Just maybe I'll share my screen then, because okay, wait, let me share my screen to make sure that this is the right one, because actually the one that you have, it's from March 20th, so this wouldn't qualify for a submission right now. So let me just see the, okay. Oh no, it's true, it is from the March 20th. Okay, so, all right, well then, Renata, share your screen. That's the one that was submitted.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's the, yeah, we didn't check that. That doesn't seem very, okay. Renata, we see we see the wrong, next one.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we see your messages, okay.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, here we go.
My name is Evelyn Ivanov, and I'm the project lead for the remote home care project. The goal of our project is to help remote family members that are isolated in their homes. They may be subjected to unexpected incidents such as falls or gas leaks, electricity problems, fires, flooding. In our project Slack channel, we have a little over 30 folks from around the world, medical doctors, public health coordinators, machine learning experts, and developers. The project architecture consists roughly of 3 main components: a camera observation, AI core, communication model, peer-to-peer secure WebRTC channel, and a mobile app. As the diagram illustrates, the essential idea is that the AI core would watch the video streams for events of interest such as falls, gas leaks, or others, and it will communicate to the mobile app held by a nurse or family member. Physically, this is what I'm running at my house: a Raspberry Pi with the AI core, an indoor camera, and an outdoor camera. Now let's look at the mobile app. The interesting thing about it is that it's a timeline of interesting events that happened around the house, organized in reverse. That is not shared on any cloud. It's only available to the homeowner and their family. The baseline project is hosted on GitHub under permissive Apache 2 license, and is already a member of the Linux Foundation AI chapter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I can add a few words. I don't know how much time we still have, but I will be fast. This is an open source project. Our focus is to provide a surveillance system that can be trusted. It doesn't require any external connection, so it can work directly in an house without sending data out. We use various artificial intelligence algorithms to detect events that are then selected and presented in a meaningful manner to the end user. We care a lot about privacy. We are very open to integration, so the whole system is totally open for hacking and integration for do-it-yourself enthusiasts. We are now focusing on a specific use case because the technology could be a good fit for many, but we are focusing on one that resulted very interesting and hot during the COVID emergency, which is elderly care. So the scope is to being able to follow what people do without invading their privacy. Yeah, that is. If you have any question, I'm open.
Hi. Yes. Any questions from the jury?
Yeah, this is Alistair Nolan. Thank you. Thank you, Luca. Could you just give us like a concrete example of what you think the system would do to assist an elderly person with care?
One of the, sorry, I turn off the video for commodity, let's say. The main scope we have been following right now is to detect, for example, fall detection. So placing camera inside the house of a person, we can detect if something happened, for example, if a fall happened. We are now working to integrate. It's hot topic now because we are analyzing the first version of this detection algorithm. We use PostNet and some artificial intelligence algorithms to try to provide a meaningful way to detect this kind of events. And the idea is to add even in the future more tactic to detect if something is going in a let's say unexpected way. So monitoring of a person can live during is a normal day if something is happening that is uncommon or eventually dangerous. I don't know, it could be I'm not an expert in this domain, but for example, if one leaves the home but doesn't come back, for example, we can detect this kind of thing. And we're open, of course, to suggestions.
I have a question. It's Marine here. Have you checked it with elderly people? I think you said fall detection is something you want to focus on. You know, have you talked to the user group?
Sorry, I did miss the last part of the phrase.
Have you talked to the users, the potential users of your solution?
We have some person based in the US who already installed the system in the house of their family member, so they have direct feedback. This is the fastest we have. We have also some commercial people who did some initial asking to retirement home and similar structure and facilities to understand a bit the feeling about a technology like this, and with the let's say pursuing the privacy aspect, probably this could be an accepted technology. We try very much to push the technology in a privacy preserving way, but also to be easy to use and eventually easy to integrate with third-party systems, so that everybody can somehow enjoy the technology without you know, having to suffer from having the setup or maintenance problem that most of the time surveillance system offers.
One last question, if I may, Elena.
Yes, one last question. Yes.
Are you aware of this? You know, there are very many applications like red button, fall button, alarm. I mean, there are small devices, very cheap, that if you fall, they give, you know, a signal. And then there's a chain of events that may follow, which is, you know, a call, and if the elderly cannot pick up the phone, or, you know, to a neighbor or to a relative, they have been available for very long time, I mean, a few years, more than 5 years, solutions like that, and they give more privacy. What is your solution? How your solution improves on those?
We started this approach based on the state of the art we found in the literacy. So the best way to detect a person falling is based on video streaming plus some sensor to understand better what happened. So doing a sensor fusion of different sources to understand better what happened. The difference here is that we have this system that run silently in your home or in the person home, and basically there is no need to interaction. There is no need to interact with the person. The system will take meaningful choice, for example, contacting a next of kin or a nurse in case something is suspicious, something suspicious is happening, without actually taking or forcing the person to physically asking for help, which is something that probably a lot of people, sorry, a lot of people is not a valid numeric amount, but there are good cases where people are not very willing to ask for help because it's something that is feel like kind of painful or that could mind their autonomous way of living. So we ask very little interaction, actually no interaction apart from the setup, and we can provide a privacy preservant access to next of kind or person who are entitled to access the system without basically interfere with the life of the elderly person or people.
Right. Thank you, Luca. Time is up. Good luck to you and your team. Next up, competing in the healthcare category, we've got Dvarvia Abhishek, who is also joining via phone. I think that's like competitions in the digital era now. You can join from multiple locations in multiple ways. So are you here representing the team Svastia? Are you here?
Yeah, I am here. Am I audible and visible?
We can hear you, but we cannot see you. Oh, there you are. You can see you as well. Okay, so your time starts now. Since we are sharing your slides, please let us know when we need to change the slide, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
First
5 minutes. Sorry?
First of all, I want to say the meaning of swasthya. It is actually a Sanskrit word which means health. That's why our project is related to health. Next slide. Can you change this slide? Okay. Can you change the next slide, please? Here, actually, our project is in ideation phase only. As a group of students, we just thought of idea. In India, there is lack of information. So here are some images of pages we made. The first image represents the login page where the name, email ID, and phone number is to be given by the user. In the second image, we can see the symptoms in which a user can select the pre-mentioned symptoms which are there in the site, and he can also add various symptoms according to his choice. After submitting, due to data mining, the diseases are shown with a probability. As if the probability is low, he may not be able to know that it is right or not, because various diseases has similar symptoms related to that. Below that, the doctor name is also given from which he can contact him, book appointment, like that. In this COVID pandemic, there many hospitals are fully filled, due to which going out and booking a slot will be somewhat dangerous for them. So we also provided the appointment system. Can you change the slide? Here are some introduction. We decided to diagnose any individual based on the symptoms, and he or she can contact the doctors and book an appointment based on that. Next slide. Here are some pros and cons which are already there in every project. Some props are user can search for doctor's help at any point of time. As in healthcare, times is everything. It is like a golden rule. That's why. User can talk about their illness and get instant diagnosis. doctor gets more clients online, as it can be a marketing principle where he can get more patients using this app. Availability of slots can also be made using this app, which is must for the time being now in this condition. Some cons are this system is not fully automated, as we require more database for making the probability one, which is never fulfilled. And we also need the help of doctors for fully diagnosing them. It requires lot of times to collect the database of symptoms, as many diseases are there with similar symptoms, just the duration of symptoms varies of 1 or 2 days, like that only. Next slide. From my side, that's much only I want to say, as I was given very less time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have actually 1 more minute, so well done. Any questions from the jury?
If I may ask, how many symptoms can one submit on the application?
For time being, we consider basically 7, because in any cases 7 are fulfilled. In many cases it can be 2 or 3 also. That's why a user can add symptoms based on his priority also.
You know that when we are talking about telemedicine or teleconsulting, usually we have a very, very detailed protocols of how this is done. And there is a set of questions that either you need to submit the answers, or you know, somebody has to just do it for you. And they have systems like triage, which is something, you know, you need to just, you know, do some sort of sorting. And 7 symptoms can be, you know, the same for many diseases. How are you dealing with this?
Actually, in next phases, we were deciding of mentioning the duration of symptoms. Like for various cases in diseases, symptoms are same, but the duration may vary from 1 day or 2 days, like that.
You know, I understand that your application can be really very useful, but really as an assistive tool, if somebody needs more or less to look from a database of relevant doctors, but I would be very hesitant to say that, you know, such a solution would be useful for the actual patient, except from that, because I would be very worried. I don't know about your country, but in many countries, you know, protocols are very, very strict of how things are done. I'm not saying this is good. I know that, you know, the COVID pandemic has brought up a lot of, you know, rethinking. But I believe that you need to do a lot of work to just use some sort of existing and, you know, approved system of classification of diseases. This is what I had to say.
Yeah, Lina, maybe I can build on that, because this was more a statement, but I'm going into the same direction. So this is my daily bread and butter business. Where do you want to store the data, and which countries do you want to get to? Because this is most probably a medical device, because you're getting into a diagnosis. So have you any answers to where you're getting to with this application, which countries, and where the data are being stored?
We are thinking of storing data in cloud format only for the time being, and the country specific are developing countries, all sort of developing countries with huge population and have lack of information in their citizens about various symptoms. Like many deaths occur because of a single mosquito bite also, like in malaria. That's why information is must for them. That's why.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have time for a last question?
Yes, one last question, yes.
Davia, can you quickly explain your team? Because I think everybody most likely wants to know if you have a medical expert in the team, or how is the team structure?
Actually, we are a group of some students only. Experts meant only we took some mentors for the help. We were planning to go next step further by including some doctors of MNCs and faculty members from our colleges regarding this, as I am a biomedical engineer. That's why.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you, Daria, with your project and with rolling it out in any country that you would like to start with. And next up, participating also in the healthcare category, we've got Jessie Paquette from TagBio. Hi, Jessie.
Hi.
We can see you. Are you going to be sharing any slides?
I will be sharing slides from my screen.
Perfect. So share your slides and let me know so I can press the go button.
Oh, that's right. It takes clicks.
Yes, I don't see them yet.
I'm going to share my full desktop just in case we can do something else. All right. Do you see?
Yes,
my slides?
Perfect. Time goes now. Go.
Okay. Start my timer. All right. Thanks so much for having me speak. This is a really interesting hackathon. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed meeting everyone. Let me go to the full screen mode here. Okay. So I'll present my startup, which is TagBio. And then I'll present the solution that we developed over almost less than 24 hours over the last couple of days. I'm going to start with some imagined questions. And I'm going to read them, unfortunately. Imagine a world where doctors could immediately access the right data to ask an important question. Right now, this takes weeks. Or if biomedical researchers could instantly analyze and share their critical experimental data along with reproducible statistical analysis. Right now, this takes months. Or if organizations could preserve security and data governance while quickly making data accessible and useful for anyone who should be able to use it. And this isn't happening right now. Right? And for people that are in this space, it's really complicated. There's data quality issues, complexity, volume, regulation, security, governance, organizational culture and legacy issues. And then there's all the issues around if you have all the data in the right place, you still have to query it. You have to perform statistics. You have to run algorithms. It requires a lot of specialties. So TagBio solves the last mile problem in data. What we're trying to do is bring access and analysis and collaboration to the doctors and the researchers in the healthcare and life sciences space so that they, with their experience and their understanding of the world and science, can start to manipulate and interact with the data that is going to drive discovery. The way we do this is we take three really highly technical parts and we combine these components into a data node. And a data node, you can see there's a little Docker symbol around it. So a data node is containerized and deployed as a functional application. One aspect is a data map. So we map the data in from various data lakes or data silos, if you're familiar with those buzzwords, or we just load up from simple flat files. We include lots of algorithms and we have extensibility with R and Python. So any data scientist can insert their own methods to be part of a given data node on top of specific data. And then finally, there's the API layer where analysis apps are developed and deployed so that the data node speaks the language of the data. It's domain specific. The data node is then deployed into the cloud to be part of many data nodes decentralized into a data mesh. These can either all be within an organizational's security and governance framework, or they could be scattered around the world. The way users interact with the data nodes in one way is a data portal. Data nodes are also accessible just from their API for other code. And so we've developed also this data portal where users can then run analyses. For the hackathon, we created a new portal called datanatives.tag.bio. This happens in a few hours. We created a new data node, which we call COVID Lifeline. It's a dump of 3,411 clinical trials from clinicaltrials.gov, all centered around COVID. When I took the screenshot on the left today, you can see that the number jumped up to 3,438. So it increased by 27 in one day. We also developed 4 new analysis apps. Each app takes about 30 minutes to build. The bulk of the time in the hackathon was working with the really dirty clinicaltrials.gov data, but we did a pretty good job cleaning. One example of an analysis app is you can select drugs. You can see there's polymorphisms, a lot of ways to say remdesivir. And we're going to analyze this. This system analyzes 66,000 variables at once in a couple seconds, and then comes back with the most statistically significant patterns. And so we know that remdesivir is a Gilead drug, but there's also collaborations with these other organizations. Another question to ask is can I find a trial in my region? You can see that there are lots of ways to say Brussels, and in different languages and with misspellings and all of that. So our clinical trial finder is able to help a user drill down and potentially find clinical trials. Again, this is rudimentary, 2-day functionality. So we can do a whole lot more here, I think, with regard to something that might be end consumer focused. As you can probably tell, most of our analyses are business to business focused. And so here, an organization could focus, you could focus on Novartis, for example, and say, what is special about Novartis's clinical trials with COVID? We analyze 66,000 variables, and we can see that one of the pages that comes back neatly lists the drugs that they are focused on with clinical trials. I see about 15 seconds left. It's all one project to this COVID Lifeline project. It's a single Git repository. It's all templated in JSON, both the data mapping layer and the analysis apps. And it's got automated CI/CD. So if you push to the master branch of that Git repository, it immediately deploys to the cloud. So everything's functional and live. It's just, unfortunately, I can't share it with you until you ask for access.
So time's up. Jury, questions, if any.
Yes, so you were mentioning that you are planning on developing a sort of customer-patient interface, but so currently this is based on researchers, doctors that would use it. And second question, who would pay for it, or what would the payment model look like?
So we've got a number of customers right now, 2 major hospitals in California. It's an enterprise deal. We're working with billing and claims records for one. The other is patient registries for research. And then with pharmaceuticals, we're doing basic R&D type discovery analysis, immuno-oncology, oncology, antimicrobial. Yeah. And then some digital health companies too, but yeah, nothing is end consumer. It seems like it's a different business for us.
So your company, it's Marine here, your company kind of exists for quite a long time, right? And you enter to test the very specific COVID case. Can you tell me a little bit more about the team that worked on that? Because
Sure.
you said also 24 hours, hard work.
Yeah, so it's myself, and I worked on the Git repository to map in the data and to create the analysis apps. Our front-end developer, Georgi, who's in Bulgaria, worked on almost getting the ability for our application, our front-end web portal, to be publicly accessible. But in the end, we weren't able to make it in time. So he should be acknowledged for some hard effort. And we're, of course, going to make public web portals in the future, so we needed to do anyway. And then Jan Simila is our UX and graphic designer, and so many of the graphics that you've seen in slides, either of our app or in the slides, were done by her.
Any more questions? Right. Okay. Well, good luck, Jesse, and for your project. There seems to be a lot of work put in, and thank you very much for participating in this hackathon. And good luck, yeah, with the results. So
it's nice meeting everyone.
Next up, competing in the sustainable green business category, the team is called AOEC. If I pronounce it correctly, and the person presenting is Venkatram. Hi, Ven, are you here? We can't hear you.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you planning to share slides?
Yes, I would. And from my system?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me know when you share them, and then when we see them, I'll put the timer on.
Thank you. Yeah. Let me start. Well, actually, I'm a gap analyst, and I look at sustainable development and growth.
We can't see your slides. So
to get to that?
please, yeah, please.
I can go to the slide. Do you want me to first introduce myself and then go to the slides?
No. Please start. Like the whole presentation has to be.
Okay, sure thing. Yeah.
Yes. So just first show your
Okay.
slides. It's part of your time, basically. Otherwise, it's cheating. We don't see any slides yet. Do you need some help? Maybe. Do you want to stand?
Yeah, I'll start the screen share. Yeah. Okay, share. Okay.
There you go. Okay, so okay, we can see it now. Time goes now. Go.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Let me start. I'm Venkatram, and I'm from India. What we do look at actually gap analysis, solutions that can change how we move towards sustainable development and growth. Well, the journey began with various, proposals and solutions for specific customers. Then I said I must go further to come up with a standard. This standard, which I'm talking about, is online. I've given it to a few customers for evaluation, but come the COVID, there are certain questions that we still needed to answer. So here I am trying to participate in this hackathon, looking out to see that if we geolink, locations or culture, is it possible to span out with this standard? So first, I did look at what are the problems affecting the MSMEs in India, and then I did look up what's affecting Germany. I came up with possibly a summary. Yeah. I came up with a summary, and I felt that the factors are quite common. Okay, so I decided to look at some sectors that we're trying to deliver solutions for, because it's too wide when you talk about sustainable development and growth. So from the hackathon's point of view, I've given some outlines. Okay, specifically for companies making automotive spares, then agri products, then apparels. Okay, and when it came to services, I thought the most essential is healthcare, because earlier to the sustainable development and growth vision, I had worked on healthcare from the quality perspective. India has good standards, but implementation is tough. And come the COVID, we understand that we're all siloed. Okay, so we need a grid. We need something which works in a fault-tolerant way. So I am able to pitch in from the standard to see whether the next stage, that is the vaccine delivery, whether that can be done via a grid. See, I wouldn't get into clinical parameters because for my background, I just sit in as a gap analyst. Yes, I've spoken to practitioners, I've spoken to people from panels and associations, but yet we're still looking at whether a fast track project mode will help all this. So from this perspective, from the pitch, I'm looking at 3 fast track projects. One is for business, the other is for essential service, that's healthcare, and one more, okay, is a social networking platform. See, I myself don't do a lot of social networking, but I do see that when we social network, we don't have channels. Like in the hackathon, I'm so used to looking at channels that I think the idea is good. That look at problem solving. Let's say now, supposing my connectivity is not working, and my service provider, he just sent me a notification. Whereas if I had a channel with him, it would be possible to resolve it better. So similarly, we could look at the COVID, we could look at sustainability, because in India, communication sometimes is not two-sided. So that is that. And as I move on, yeah. Okay. So how do we do all this? How do I say that we can span out to reach another country? One is, I said that all demand and supply chains, whether it's for goods or for services, they're affected by demand and supply. So there may not be a balance. Sometimes people have put in money, but there are no buyers, or sometimes people don't have the resources to produce what may be necessary now, because there is a lot of re-engineering and possibly revisiting what exactly we produce. Like in apparels, they never made face masks earlier, but now the entire industry is trying to look at face masks, then the PPEs. Okay, so I said to do this, we must first measure the importance of a good or service. We should define a score, and naturally, we must consider what I would say. I'll go to the next screen. It's a little graphic. We need to consider living needs, business actualization needs, then advanced priority needs, and government and security needs. So, I would not get into too many details because some of this is logical, but it doesn't work that way, because when it comes to demand and supply, okay, there's no provisioning and there's no understanding of what is the rank given to the product or the service or the business. Okay, so going further, because there's a lot, I try not to, spend too much time on each slide. Now, what is the score? Okay, looking at Kaizen and looking at various practices, I thought that any demand and supply, relationship may be enabled. That means just working. Okay, not getting into understanding too much. It may be constrained. So I would give it a +1 if it's enabled. Okay, I would give it a -1 as a score if it is constrained. And sometimes the relationship is neither constrained, neither is it enabled. So I get back to again the 4 M's, or the 4 P's, or what we can call as processes, what we can call as structure.
Hi, sorry, Venkatram, your time is up.
Okay.
The jury,
Yeah.
would you like him to continue this the presentation, or do you have any questions already?
Let him finish.
Okay, so Venkatram, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry if this offsetting any schedule. So the scoring is important. As I was saying, the scoring can be a +1 if it's enabled. That means if this factor, if I can rank the product and I can do it easily, then I give it a +1. If I cannot, if it's constrained for some reason, let's say now the raw materials or the ingredients or basically even manpower, because with the current social containment mode, it's virtually impossible to come up with 100% productivity. And people are trying to work offline, online, people work in shifts, and so on and so forth. So that could be a constrained mode. And then, we could have a combination. So in the combination, I get back to the Kaizen theories or the organizational theories. I see whether there's a +1 for at least the processes. Sometimes the processes may be good. Sometimes the people may be good. They may be tuned towards working better, working harder, and adjusting themselves. Sometimes you could have the networking levels that isolate the problem from the other, so they're able to pitch in and fix it. Sometimes it will just be the structure. Like in India, we have GST, and you all have the VAT. I'm sorry if I'm trying to infer. So structures like that, because all put together, if I do rank the product and I find there's demand and supply issue, I would like to actually look at the taxation to reach out. So that's what the next slide is about. Okay, so I analyze what you call as the level of consumption or buying capacity. Okay, we are still into this AI and machine learning. I've tried to look at some of it. Okay, I haven't prototyped for this hackathon, but we have outlines. And next is the ripple factor. So let's say now if you're looking at a product, like I looked at food and consumables. If you look at something which the poor people can get, definitely it's not there. It causes a massive ripple factor. And if the manufacturers have to produce, they are not enabled. That's what this means. Yeah. Next thing is to prioritize any balancing. So what is balance? Balance is just about demand and supply. It's not. It could be for life support. So I could look at taxation. So I could help the government understand that they must revise the taxation, because for the manufacturer or business, it's tax that will make him reduce the price or increase the supply. Next thing, we could look at fast track credit. Though the term fast track is a misnomer, I don't intend to use it that way. It really should mean reaching out to people, giving them credit, giving them clearances. Then I have a concept called the fast track market, which I try to demonstrate for the agri products. Okay, because the farmers today, they're not, they're not isolated, but to be able to self-produce. Okay, the challenges are many. And next, people welfare, because I myself feel from the COVID, there could have been many who didn't get the medicines, who didn't get the food. So, you needed manufacturers to produce food for these reasons. And let me go to the next. Yeah, focus on policy requirements. So, via this system, we'll be able to tell whether we must tap reserves, tap surplus, tap in the unsold stock, because most of the, I'm sorry, ma'am.
The time is up.
Okay,
So,
as a last slide, I'll just sum up. Yeah, then coupon book schemes, ma'am. This is not the gift coupon. This is basically to enable people to buy and sell using a fast biz mode. Okay, ma'am. So I'll take it from here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck, Venkatram, on your project and developing it further. Next up, competing on the sustainable green business category again, Border Planet. Olga Pantsenko is going to be the team leader presenter. Olga, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. someone needs to. Yeah.
We just asked. Yeah, there you go. Yes. And can you? Are you going to share your screen?
I'm going to share my screen to show the video we submitted because it's got a demo, and then I'll switch and I'll just elaborate a little bit more on the concept.
Perfect. All right. So let me know when you're ready, and I'll put the time.
So, okay, this is the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time is going. Yeah. Go.
Hello and welcome to Barter Planet. The current economic and health crisis is particularly dangerous for independent workers because they lack traditional protections many workers enjoy, like healthcare and paid sick leave. Small businesses create unique entrepreneurial opportunities, particularly for women, minorities, and immigrants. At the same time, owners of the smallest firms are very vulnerable. This is why we created Barter Planet. In times of reduced cash availability, we make sure that individuals and small businesses satisfy some of their needs, avoiding the actual cash part. Claire is a social media manager and a German teacher. She's a bit low on cash now, but desperately needs someone to fix her kitchen. Yannick is a construction worker. He wants to ensure that the houses he builds are safe and reliable, but can't afford the fees of a professional consultant. Marianne is an environment consultant. She just moved to Berlin and needs a German tutor. Once they all register at the platform and open a request, we use the matching algorithm. This way, Claire teaches German to Marianne, Marianne consults Yannick on the water purification systems, and Yannick fixes Claire's kitchen. And it's not only about the services. You can trade your skills for some products and trade those products for the service you need. We've built a clickable prototype and are working on the final features. We conducted several surveys and already have more than 50 freelancers and several small businesses that express their interest in trying out the platform. To provide accurate solutions, we'll use reinforcement learning, beginning with stable matching with weighted preferences and adding spatial component to it. We will also use NLP to detect illegal content in the user profiles. You're welcome to sign up on our landing page, so we'll keep you updated about our progress. Thank you. Okay, so let me elaborate a little bit more on the concept. So indeed, 21st.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna check out. Let me see here. Rename this title.
What thing? Are you sharing something, Olga?
No, I'm not. I just wanted to elaborate more on the concept since I have more time.
Okay, because someone was okay. There's a sound coming from somewhere. Is it from you?
Not from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not my guy, okay? So I don't know who that
Now,
is.
the UI builder is in
Are you sure that the video is still not playing?
And
Oh,
is
sorry.
very little to any.
There you have to close. You have to close the window.
Sorry.
Ideally, all always.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
No worries. It sounded like an intruder that was hijacking your pitch. Okay, go on. You lost 30 seconds, but yeah, go on.
Okay, so in the 21st century became the time of gig economy. So more and more people became freelancers in their pursuit of work-life balance. And that's a huge group. It's 34% of Greece's workforce. It's 23% in Italy. It's 15% in UK, 16% in Spain. And in the US alone last year, they contributed an estimated $1 trillion to the economy. And at the same time, the freelancers are one of the most vulnerable groups these days. So not supporting freelancers during the COVID-19 crisis could have lasting impact on our economy. And same thing applies to the best small businesses. The ones that have less than 20 employees are likely to close down this year. I think the percentage is 25 to 40% of all those small businesses. The easiest way to support them would be injection of cash. Unfortunately, considering the state of the global economy right now, it's not feasible. And this is why we thought about taking the cash from the equation and trying the old forgotten scheme of natural exchange.
So you've seen the demo. People can register on the platform and say what services or products they can offer, how much they charge for them, and what they need. And then we automatically compare the fees and prices they suggest with the market averages to make sure that those prices are just. And then we do the matching of those users with the ones that need their services and with those that provide what they might want to use. And that's the beauty of that matching system, because you get higher chance of matching demand and supply when it's more than one-on-one matching, when you actually add more players into this equation. This week, we've conducted several surveys among freelancers, mainly in tech and creative industry, entrepreneurs and small business owners, and we keep on getting very positive feedback and requests to join the platform. And naturally, the key for initial success will be gaining the critical mass of users. So we'll launch locally in Berlin and use the network we have there to spread the word. We still have a lot of work to do, but we truly believe in this idea. And we believe that these days you do need to think outside the box to literally reinvent the people do business. So that's about it. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the jury?
Alistair here. Thanks very much, Olga. I'm not an expert in this particular field, but I know there's a whole range of apps already there for barter of goods and services of different sorts. I mean, what's distinctive about your idea?
People normally try to exchange physical products, and it's always, first of all, whatever matching happens, it's always one-on-one. And then the chances of you wanting to get rid of something or provide something, and the chances of someone willing to take it and give you something you want in return are really low. So this is why we create this whole network of, Yannick does this to Marian, Marian does this to Anne, and provides something else, so they all at the end get what they want. Another thing is that there's one platform where people literally exchange the hours of their services or their knowledge. But it's literally hour per hour, which we don't consider very just, because some people in 1 hour deliver so much more than the others. So we also want to add the price tag to the equation, because we think this is the just way to trade your services or your products for what you're willing to receive in advance in return. And we're combining the concepts of providing services and sharing knowledge and providing products, because sometimes you overproduce, but you need just someone's skills to make your business more sustainable, more efficient.
Norman here. Interesting concept. It reminds me a little bit of, there's a service or a company called Airtasker in Australia, which does exactly that. The thing I'm wondering is if your goal is to support freelancers or help people get an extra income, how do you do that without undermining prices of professionals? Do you know what I mean? Without getting into that price competition.
It's not really about creating new business. It's more about making sure those people don't fall, because right now a lot of them lost their jobs and they don't have any support. And yes, naturally, this kind of platform will not help them pay the rent, but it will still keep them afloat for a while. And unfortunately, the crisis is going to last for quite a long time. So we're just creating another opportunity for them to still provide their professional services or professional products while getting what they need at this particular moment. It will not replace the whole structure of doing work for money. But in times when money is scarce, when cash is scarce, we believe that's the way to, make a slight deviation and go this way and see how people can exchange, just, go back to the roots. And maybe this is how most of them will stay afloat. This is how the small businesses will stay afloat. This is how the freelancers will not go bankrupt.
Thank you very much. Time is up. Good luck, Olga. in helping sustainable green business and generally fostering as much opportunities at this time of crisis to everybody. Next up, again, and last one competing in the sustainable green business category is the team title Impact, with capitals, ACT. Lisa Marie Kroos will be representing the team. Lisa, hello.
Hi there.
Are you sharing any slides? Hi.
Yes, I will share my slides from my device.
Perfect. So you share your slides and let me know when you're ready so that I can press the start button.
Can you see the screen already?
We can see your emails. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. So
All right.
this is the actual screen. Yeah, you can see
right.
that.
We can see
Great.
it. Okay, go.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to start a bit different, but then I had this fateful discussion with my boyfriend if he wants to visit his parents today by car or by train. And I again lacked statistical information. And on one hand, and on the other hand, I couldn't give him any other reason than intrinsic motivation for a better planet to take the train. And in fact, the personal routine's impact is intransparent to many people of us. And even if they knew, it's hard to motivate them because they just don't see any personal benefit in changing their daily routines. Finally, already existing sustainable, ecological, or social businesses have a really limited consumer group, which is the one of change makers. And for them, it's hard to acquire new consumers. So this is enough dystopia. Let's go to the bright side of life. Impact is an app which precisely tracks daily habits' impact on the global Earth based on real data of, for example, climatewatch.org and many others. Impact makes saving the world fun by a variety of challenges and challenge modes. And on top of that, it's rewarding changing and trying out new products and lifestyles by teaming up with our partners. And for those partners, we are a distributional partner, we are a marketing platform, and they get the opportunity to acquire new consumers. This sounds pretty good, so why did nobody have this idea before? Indeed, there are some nice applications that are either focusing on tracking CO2 emissions and they only focus on already aware change makers, or they focus on the fun factor. Impact combines both of them. And on top of that, it's the first approach to reward people for changing their daily routines and to cooperate with sustainable businesses. Furthermore, the focus is not just on the change makers, but also on polluters who are curious to try out new things, on educational institutions, on these social businesses who want to expand, but also on companies who are trying to do a sustainable change process. And the best is, it's not rocket science. We don't have to reinvent the wheel because we just embed already existing CO2 calculating APIs. We can profit from already existing challenging apps. We can use tracking APIs, open source data, and stuff like this. So let's head straight into a demo. Ooh. This is the screen of my mobile device. I hope you can see it. Don't focus on the design. This is just to show the user experience. So let's go, set up a new challenge. Highest CO2 savings. I want to challenge my family who's doing household this week. Okay, it's an in-team challenge. I challenge my family. Start. Let's go to the leaderboard. Who's doing household this week? Okay, nobody tracked their emissions yet. Let's track something. I want to go to Bay Bridge. It's 10.5 kilometers away. I go there by bike, and yes, I saved 1.35 kilograms of CO2 based on the average emissions in my country. Fine, let's head back to leaderboard, and yes, I'm in the first place because I've already saved something. In my profile, I can see actual statistics about emissions in my country. I can go into a deep dive, see how many emissions are caused by eating meat and stuff like this. And I can see the coupons that I've gained by succeeding challenges that I've, by our feature challenges, which were placed by our partners. So what's next? When we've just started this idea, it came up last Friday actually. So the next steps is to really finish prototyping, to develop the MVP, to test it, to acquire partners, and in the long run, we can also embed artificial intelligence to bring together people with similar behaviors to make their challenges more exciting. And it's also possible to expand this mechanism to other SDGs.
The time is up.
And I'm finished.
Great. Any questions from the jury?
So interesting idea. It's Marine here. So you see it as a kind of B2C app that is encouraging people. And if I got it right, and please correct me, the business model is based on the coupons and the partners.
Exactly. So this is how we gain the money, that our partners can set up their challenges in our app, they place them, and then people can go into these featured challenges to gain coupons. And so they get to know these other forms or brands of vegan food, for example, or alternative transportation, and etc.
Great, thanks. Any other questions? Norman, I don't know if you want to ask something, but you're muted. Or Max. Okay. Would you like to elaborate on anything else, Lisa? Because I had to cut you quickly and you have still 1 more minute.
Actually, I've said everything that I planned to say. So this app is, it has to be fun to save the world, and unaware people, so-called polluters and others, they just need another motivation, a motivation to do something and to change little things, because already changing small routines and daily habits really have an impact on global world issues.
Great, thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Good luck with your project and also in this hackathon. Please stop sharing. Yes, thank you. And now the last contestant for the day, and also competing by themselves in this category of cybersecurity, we have the team NetSepio, and I would like to invite to the virtual stage Shanshindra.
Hi.
Hi, Shanshindra. Hi. Are you sharing anything? Are you going to share your screen?
Yes, allow me to share my screen. First, I'll show the video, and then I'll elaborate on our idea more.
Perfect. So let me know when you're ready and your screen is on, and then I will put the timer on.
Can you view the screen?
Yes. All right. Time is on. Go. We can't hear anything though.
Oh. Okay.
My name is Olivia.
How about now?
Hi everyone, my name is Olivia. Today I'm happy to present you our project NetSepio, an all-in-one solution for your safe internet browsing experience. Cybersecurity has been a long-standing global issue that affects millions of people and businesses, especially healthcare, education, and e-commerce. Rising sophistication and frequency of cyber attacks along with the COVID-19 pandemic has increased its risk and impact, making users vulnerable from emerging threats. To solve this problem, we created NetSepio to provide a safe internet browsing experience, giving users insights on the websites they browse and allow them to categorize into safe and unsafe content. We use blockchain-based smart contracts to store ratings for each website and IPFS for storing the metadata. This enables making information accessible for further analysis without any bottlenecks. So now let's jump into the demo session. We can open any website here and mark it as safe. And here's another website that collects your personal data. We will mark it as unsafe. By going to this link, we can see how the vote information is mapped into the blockchain in real time. So every vote creates a mapping into the blockchain with the user's wallet address. Cybersecurity being a big market has a lot of applications, but we want to stand apart through the use of blockchain and specific data models, making it easier to stop cyber attacks in real time. So I recently wanted to get a gym membership and was checking out some websites. Later, when I was browsing other sites and my social media apps, I could repeatedly see the ad from one specific gym, which got really annoying. So on a daily basis, there could be over 100 websites tracking our digital footprints, and most of which are without our consent. NetCPO aims to integrate features to detect and stop trackers through the extension in our future updates. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I wanted to continue upon the video presentation, and what I wanted to talk about in this scenario is that since this is a data native hackathon, and when we talk about cybersecurity, there is very little data available on the market about what kind of websites are safe to visit and unsafe to visit, and what are the metrics that we can hold them accountable for. So if we look at other players into the market, they have all along solutions which offer tracking protection and adware protection. But when it comes to understanding what kind of websites would be safer to visit and which kind of data, which kind of website which collect information illegally, it's very fragmented. We don't have enough data at all about it. So what we want to do, or we aim, is for data democratization, where we collect all this information from a community and share it across everybody, for either it's an individual or it's a company, so that we can understand what is the sentiment around that particular website whenever we want to visit it. So when we talk about impact, we want to create more secure websites where we hold them accountable. So whenever a website see that they have been reported as a lot more trackers on the website, so they will be like forced to put them down or give a clarification on why they need to collect that data and what kind of data they need to give a consent to, so that the user give them consent to collect. Also, we want to introduce gamification model where users are getting rewarded for doing incident reportings, and all this voting is going to be taken care of by the community, and it's going to be shared by the community. Hence, the project is completely open source. So having this impact, we definitely want to have these features into our app. So the next stage, we'll be introducing some models where we will be able to detect and block these threats in real time. And on a premium plan, we can have also integrate a VPN so that a user can also go anonymous whether they were visiting on that particular website just using the browser extension. We can also enable firewall support where they are able to track which particular website should be able to see them or see their real information, or particularly anonymize all of them information from the client side as well. Also, when you talk about incident reporting, there is very little data available because a lot of websites do not like to share their cyber attack information because of obvious reasons. So we want to make this very seamless so that other websites could also learn what happened with the other company or that particular hack, so that they can prepare themselves as well. And also, as an individual user, you would be able to understand and get more awareness around what number of trackers, what kind of cyber attacks you happen on a daily basis.
Sorry, time is up. Would you like to continue?
No, I'm mostly done. That was that's the completely into an insight of our particular product.
Okay, all right. Any questions from the jury?
I have a question regarding the usability. So is it basically a software that I download as a user, or is it a special plugin, or how do you envision that? Because I most likely have to install that feature somehow, right?
Right. So just as you download any browser extension like ad blocker or uBlock, you just we will be putting our extension in the end of this month, or maybe in the first few weeks of the next month, into the Chrome Web Store, where you can just go down and download it, and you can quickly see what's the consensus around this particular website among all the other people who have visited this website. And later on, we're going to also add this feature like you can, when you vote, you will be able to like say why you are putting this into safeguard, like why is it safe. You can introduce screenshot, you can have this rating. So ideally we can see this as a Yelp, like a rating system for each and every website that you visit. So this will be like a browser plugin, and then for mobile we'll be making apps.
So I have another question building on what Maren just asked. Is that really an unsafe website that is then being reported, or is it unreliable, or I just don't like it? Because if you just vote as no, not safe, because I don't like it, then you basically mislead the group of users, right?
So right, so this is a particular website which basically has no information on what kind of data they collect. Looks much more like a scam website where even the links are not going anywhere. So pretty much this is like a phishing website. So whenever you want to, so you can see that a lot of people, so we have only like 3 people say that not safe. So whenever you want to block it off, you can recommend that this is more like a spam or fake. Is it like contains a lot of advertisement? Is it a spyware that pretty much tracks your information, or is it a virus or malware or a drive-by download which affects your system in a holistic perspective? So when you click on spam or fake, that particular voting would be done, and that particular voting counter would be increased, and everybody will have this particular option to create it. And all of this information will be available on the blockchain itself.
Another user question from my side, because this is what you've seen when you rely on user feedback. There's always a way that a lot of different users vote up and down. So do you evaluate if the user feedback was correct? Because again, this is what you have in the travel websites. You have a lot of positive comments from users that haven't even been traveled haven't traveled to the destination.
Of course, there are like many cases where you can like have a paid vote, So basically, we want to achieve network effect. So whenever we are giving, so whatever vote you submit, you will be getting points. There will be a reward system, and of course, there will be when you talk about like consensus, there will be always a certain amount of bad actors that we will be able to limit. Like whenever you submit any vote without any justification, you will be getting a decrease in points, and your voting actions will be limited to say 10 votes per day. And if you're doing something good, and you will have a ranking system. So what I wanted to suggest here was like follow major cybersecurity practices. So where you will be able to see among certain cybersecurity experts, and you will be able to follow them as well. So the idea is to like see what is the majority of the consensus, like around 50 to 60% of the consensus driving as to what kind of website and what kind of trackers you should have disabled, what kind of browser plugins you should use. So to create this in a data democratized way is what we are aiming for, and having penalty-based system to limit those fake and spam voting as well.
Thank you very much, Sanchindra.
Thank you.
The time is up. You were also the last presenter. So this point, I'd like to thank you, but also all the other participants. We had 12 pitches, so it's been a long day already. And now the jury will deliberate right after the demo day to decide on the 3 winners. But first, let's congratulate everybody for what they've done. Unfortunately, yes, we don't have. I can play the sound on. We don't have. Let me play the sound on just to have a grand finale for this, then we're gonna stop the live, and we're gonna go in a small room where we will be discussing all the participants. Any comments from the jury that you would like while I'm searching for the clapping sound? Any further comments from the jury here?
It was great.
Thank you, Lina. Well,
same here. I think these were great applications, and thanks so much for presenting it here. It was a lot of good thoughts that went into it, and I really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, again, thanks to all the jury for being here and for the evaluation that will continue actually right after and the hard discussion that we need to have internally. Thank you to all the participants, all the applicants, everybody who hacked. Thanks to all the mentors. Thanks to all the partners who are going to be giving the award, and to the team that put this together. So I will put the clapping sound for everybody to thank everybody, and then would wish everybody a nice Saturday afternoon. I don't know where you are, but I'm in Berlin and it's quite rainy and sad, so it's perfect for a tea, an afternoon tea, right? Let's clap and let's go.